Okie dokie, we're back with more Thea the Awakening. I left myself a boatload of notes last episode, so I'm just going to pick up from there. Hey, how you doing, Scholar? Let's try fighting these enemies over here. I think I have to pass the turn first. Don't want them to attack my town. How's it going, Percolator?
You hear a strange commotion coming from the nearby bushes. A sort of cross between a squeak and a deep grumble of a salivating dog. As you approach, you see a weird-looking brown ball of disheveled fur, with big yellow eyes staring back at you. The creature is no bigger than a fox and has bat-like wings, a snarly smile with a range of sharp teeth, and it smells badly. It is apparently stuck in some hunter's trap. You recognize the trap to be orc-made.
Orc-made. One option unavailable due to insufficient stats, I assume. Leave it be. 1 XP. Hey, congratulations, Scholar. So you passed your candidacy, and you're in your, you're like working on your thesis now? It's hard for me to keep track of every discipline has a different track. Thank you, Kiri. Appreciate that. How you been? Let's see. Let's try sneak. Wait for the perfect moment. So it would be useful for me to do a combat manually, but I'll probably switch to doing a resolve soon, since the computer seems to be better at playing than I am. I had a pretty bad combat recently. This looks okay. Could be better, but having this guy, giving her is not awesome. Could do my mulligan, try to shuffle her out of there, get her in the backhand. That mulligan kept her in the party anyway. Okay, that's fine. So I don't like going first. Let me put my tankiest character out first. I think that's all I can do on the first turn. Awesome, Scholar, congrats. The candidacy can be kind of stressful. I kind of get the sense that, at least in physics, that they won't really let you defend your thesis until they think you're ready, but it's still stressful regardless, right? Alright, this thing has a 9 defense. It's going to get attacked by her. None of these characters have the ability to attack when they enter the battlefield, because this is a stealth challenge instead of a combat challenge. So it's just a matter of doing enough damage and not getting killed with the characters I place on the opposite sides of this card. So let's try this deck. Hey, thank you, Six Gun. How have you been? No, I hear you, Scholar. This is a zero obligation channel, don't worry about it. Let's get closer. And then let's pass. Okay, so I'll do 2 damage to them, should be fine. I don't have enough to kill this character. Lavajmir should be able to finish him off. I can just put everyone else in, I guess. Do you still have to teach now that you're out of your candidacy? I know that when my wife was doing her candidacy, the TAing was pretty stressful and frustrating. Assassinate your enemy in cold blood with the grace of an alpha predator. Possible 1 or 2 escape the bloodbath, taking some of the loot, but without any injuries, you have managed to eliminate the threat. Okay, so that was a choice I made by choosing to do that stealth mode instead of combat mode. Darkwood Seep with the Curse, Monster Bone, Rabbit Stew. see. Trying to take out these spiders at this nest. And then I got to go back. Last episode, I didn't return all of my objects to the town. Supplies that I've gathered. Do have an XP to research something new here. Let's see. Do amber. Looks like that unlocks more in the tree. 5 units of this research your inventory. At least one place can be gathered will always be revealed after researching this. Okay. What does that unlock? Though you know such resource exists, you've not discovered a single place where it can be gathered. Malachite. Okay, cool. So I've done the entire inner circle. Nice. Let's pass. Let's go to the spider's nest. 2 skull difficulty attack. I'll keep doing it with the cards. It's helpful for me to stay privy. This is a pretty good combat hand. I don't think I want to mulligan this. My 2 shitty combat characters are in tactical hand, which is where we want them. So, perfect. Okay, so holy crap. Their spiders do 20 damage and have 24 defense. So I definitely want to enter the battlefield, hit them, and I'm going to put in my tankier characters first. So Alina will hit it automatically for 6, because I think it's half of this value, and then can absorb 20 damage pretty readily. That's the queen, so I think that's the most dangerous enemy. Okay, she should be able to eat the damage there, and I can still play another card. If I recall correctly, blunt damage is, yeah, it's... what is it called in Magic? Overrun? Trample, maybe? I think it's trample. You deal damage, and any damage that's left over after killing it gets dealt to remaining enemies. Let's see. Do shield ally, just to get closer. Now, these little baby spiders I could kill right away with my piercing damage characters. So let's totally do that. Vladimir's not in huge risk of taking damage from the baby spider, and in fact killed it. I think I can pass here. I don't have a reason to play a card early. So they both do a teeny tiny amount of damage. I think that piercing enter the battlefield damage still occurs even if you use get closer. Yep, perfect. Exactly what we wanted to happen. They should be fine because the baby spiders are fairly weak. Kill one more baby spider for free. Malicious spiders? It's a good question. I guess there is such a thing as friendly spiders. It's not completely crazy. Spiders that are at least not interested in harming humans. Hold up the tanking on the opposite end of the screen. Some spiders just named Charlotte. Okay. Oh, that's unfortunate. They hit the baby spider on the side there instead of the queen spider. I think Alina's going to kill the queen spider before the queen spider can do damage next turn, though, because I think it resolves from left to right. Okay, there we go. Yep. There's the trample spillover damage. We did it! Sweet. Did take some significant wounds. Svartostoy did not have a good day there. He got whacked by the Spider Queen. kind of miscalculated. I guess it didn't occur to me that the computer could put a spider on the left side and force my strongest attacker to waste her attack on a baby spider instead of on the boss. Mushroom soup, spider silk, ivory bracelets. You won the challenge. 3 XP. It's 2 research. If people get wounded during a fight challenge, wounds persist, and if serious, they may cause death. 1 wound is recovered each turn as long as the group has food. To improve healing, set up a camp or go back to the village and make sure you have food and fuel. Medics reduce the chance of death for wounded party members. Some events allow you to heal. That's sure. Okay, so we're going to send them back towards the town because we've got some resources to drop off there. We can also try to heal over there. I do have an idle villager. Milladrog, what can you help with? It doesn't really significantly speed up the rate of crafting here. It would on a future week, I think, right? Yeah. Let's keep Falibor doing that, and then Milladrog can do meal cooking, which I still have the resources for. Plenty of fuel. Okay. Milladrog, this is all you, buddy. It's gonna take him... Okay, he'll finish it in 1 week. Perfect. Falibor's still set to construction. Okay. Everybody's happy. Good. Okay, abilities improved. Your people's abilities have improved. +1 tactics, +1 health, +1 fine weakness. Tactics, dexterity, strength. Sweet. And then people in my town also saw improvements. Got idle villagers again. Production complete. I think we just finished constructing a pasture, right? Yeah. We got a bunch of pastures now. Resource income. Passively producing meat from all of the pastures. Okay, so we're going to drop off some resources here, if I can remember how to do this. We go to the inventory, and we move it to Astoya, right? I need to keep some things like wood. Oh, I see. If I just drag it over there. Might even be like a shift key. Yeah, shift just sends stuff. Okay, so but I need to have some food with me, so I'll move those over. Fascinating mix of text adventure, Magic the Gathering, Civilization, and roguelike, right? I think that's what's part of what's most compelling to me. Slavic mythology inspiration. I love that children are a resource. It's just tracked as a thing that's in your inventory. It's funny to me. Let's also bring some vegetables for the expedition. And let's assign idle workers. All right, so they were previously working on a pasture, which I think I straight up just can't afford. Yeah, because I either need 25 wood or 25 sandstone, which I have neither of, and I haven't unlocked new construction options yet. So I could add them on to gathering, try to get more wood here. But I don't think they're super great at it. Yeah, you get diminishing returns for each additional person assigned. They're better at crafting, so let's maybe have them make more cooked meals, which gets you more value for your buck. Use some of my fuel. Now, if I recall correctly, when you're going to do more than the required amount, so here I only need 44 progress to cook a meal. I'm going to do 165. Does that mean I'm going to make 3 of that object. I think that's true. Or is anything above 44 just completely wasted? And I think them just being in Estoya is enough for their wounds to heal. I don't think I have to, like, specifically set them to rest. Let me see. Splits. Join. Move. Inventory. Yeah. As far as Estoya is still not having a great time. Maybe I do need to move them into the village for them to rest. Idle villagers again, putting all of my travelers there. I was asking, you can answer. Thanks for checking. It's not dead yet. It's only mostly dead. Mostly dead. It's slightly alive. Don't think I have too many new tools that I'm excited about. I think all of my characters that could benefit from crafting tools already have them. I'd love to be able to make this gathering tools, but it requires items that I don't yet have access to. Fur leather, I only have the 2. So I could use spider silk for that. Wicker. Let's see where I can find wicker. Crafting points carry over, produce multiple units per turn. Oh, I only queued up a single crafting of food, so the excess is wasted. Okay, let me try to understand why. How would I queue up more than one here? Do this and I hit OK. I just do it again, basically, or... Oh, I see. Multiple jerkies. Gotcha. So I must have made that mistake multiple times in previous episodes without realizing it. So this will be done in one turn. Okay. Gotcha. Production complete, and that shows the jerky that I was just making, I think. Okay. Can I also increase the amount of gathering, or does gathering work that way, where if you have more than enough, it'll just gather double the resource? You don't have to specify that you want to gather more than double the resource. I guess you have to specify how many of them you want to craft with crafting so that you don't accidentally... you don't make more than you have resources for in the bank, basically. Go ahead and do a pasture here. Have enough wood now. Save some wood. Add food, attract humans. Let's construct. Everyone's helping. Don't you help too? I don't know if we can get it down to one turn. I guess not. Oh, there's a higher difficulty modifier that has it not carry over. Interesting. Why don't you go back to helping with this, even though it's very minor. I probably set whatever the default difficulty was. How's Svartastoy doing? He's slowly recovering. Go one more round of resting, and then I'll send out a new expedition. New expedition. Okay. Zoom our combat folks. She's been useful as a medic for certain encounters. Go ahead and bring Svartastoy. Flashmere. Okay, and they keep all their gear. Do you want to continue? No. I want to add food. I see, here we go. Expedition 1. So we send like half of the wood. Although I don't want to send too much wood, right? Because I want to make sure that there's enough in the town to finish the tasks that I've set out to do. I think I've asked this question in previous episodes, but do you allocate the resources for tasks when you start them, or do they not get spent until the task is complete? Like, can I set up a task like build pasture and then freely use whatever resources are remaining, or do I have to keep some of them allocated to the building task from earlier? Let me bring some of this jerky. I haven't really been bringing that with me. Leave some more of the meat behind then. Okay. Great expedition. No longer have any idle villagers. Let's explore more. I wonder if we want to do the Cosmic Tree quest, because I think that's fairly high up there. Each task set up claims the resources for it, but only once the task begins. Okay, so I would need to wait until a day passes before those resources. I can freely just move meat and wood and ore and ingots around. Otherwise, I could jeopardize the task, right? Got another pasture. We now are up to 7 pastures. Increases the chance for humans, produces food. What do I have to do to increase the number of buildings that I can add? Am I just eventually going to get more unlocks once I build more pastures? Second iteration isn't spent until the first completes. Okay, sure. Okay, that makes sense. I like this game a lot. I think it has some really cool ideas. I think it's generally pretty well executed. If I had one complaint or one request for a change, is that I wish the UI helped you out a little bit more than it does. It's got a few things that are helpful. Like it pretty explicitly tells you when you have activities that just triggered on the turn that pass, like idle villagers. More like pop-ups saying, hey, you're allocating your resources suboptimally, or hey, you've got too many characters assigned to this and their labor is being wasted would be nice. It should be fine. I'll be out of vegetables, but that's okay. Keep exploring up here, see what we can find. Evil spiders. Always a treat. Enemy group has been spotted. Click to show location. Best way to slay a beast is eye to eye. We did the cards a couple times. Let's try auto resolve. It's only regular malicious spiders. Ivory bracelets. We've won the challenge. Fur jacket. Now, if I were to disassemble this, I would get fur leather, which I need for making gathering tools. but I also don't have a equipped fur jacket. Let me go ahead and disassemble it. Bring those back home now. Improve my gathering efficiency.
It is time for the Night of the Goat, a feast in honor
Switch
of
over to
reverence
Atkins'
the
diet.
ancestors and forefathers, the so-called Zeadi. You set a
Deity.
table with food and drink, set bonfires in a circle, and begin festivities. But this night, the Zeadi actually appear before you. One, an elder bearded man, speaks with a heavy, coarse voice. You have done us proud, grandchildren. Now we shall cleanse you of any curses you carry, and if your souls are ever burdened by the filth of dark magic, come to a city we once called home and seek us out. And if you prove yourselves worthy, you may be cleansed once more.
That's
The Zeadi all nod
nice.
in agreement, then disappear.
Svetoslava cursed? Don't think I realized that. Folklore represents wisdom, knowledge, and basic folk rituals. Oh, okay, so she's increased intellect so she can handle hex challenges in the future. Forever cursed will seek out this city. Oh, added it to the map. That's cool. You know. Expedition guys, head back down to the town. Got get so much meat from these pastures. It's kind of awesome. Don't think I can build another one. I must have just gotten enough wood to afford it, huh? Yeah, apparently. Okay. I don't have vegetables from gathering. I don't know that we want to waste gold on this, but I've got so much of it. I think that'll be my last pasture that I can afford anyway. I can start moving people into crafting, gathering tools once I drop off the resources for it.
Another night falls over Thea, and restless souls of the damned seek out the living in envy and anger. You can almost feel the approaching wave of these infernal wraiths seeking to burden your souls. But this night, a welcomed guest is seen in the shadows, a lapidok, the spirit catcher. This bizarre-looking creature, resembling an overgrown toad with long claws, yellow warts, and a row of razor-sharp teeth, is actually a humble servant of Veles. In the old days,
Oh, it's the god I'm
tasked with the
kind
hunting
of playing
wayward
as.
souls and misbehaved wraiths, but now hopelessly overfed and ever busy with his task of devouring evil spirits.
Leave the creature to its
Thanks
task.
to the lapidok, your people sleep well this night, and many feel the magical touch of Veles upon them.
Adds 3 magic for 15 turns. I don't think I've had a magic objective yet. Maybe we'll encounter one. Alright, so we want to drop off the furs in Astoya and the iron. Everything else is probably fine. Okay. Now I'll wait till the pasture construction finishes. Probably going to move some more meat and jerky over to the expedition. Should be fine. Yeah, I haven't had bad events that have screwed me over. It's been nice. Experience points, research. Okay, so I officially dropped the stuff off. Let's get rolling. Idle villagers, make some gathering tools. Oh, really? It says not enough resources still. What am I missing now? Wicker. Okay. So I still don't know how to make that. Did any kind of fuel? No. Plant fiber, great material for crafting light and sturdy items. Have I already gotten that on my research tree here? Ah. When I get an advancement point, I can try to go for it. Okay. Well, in that case, I should have them do something else here. Let's see. Village overview. We can still make one more pasture. I don't have the resources for it this turn, so we'll cook some meals. Meat, jerky. And let's do 3. Uh-oh.
Skies darken, the air gets cold, and your village is visited by the souls of the dead. They do not attack, they simply wander the fields and houses they once lived in, wailing in sadness for their spirits cannot know rest.
Be on guard in case they do attack. Offer prayer to Veles, master of the afterlife.
Veles
That's the god that I'm
steps
kind
up
of
from the
playing
midst of
as,
the souls
patron
and
deity.
speaks. I cannot help these souls, not until the balance is restored to Thea. But perhaps together we can take steps to help out. The fools who destroyed it all still dwell in this world. Go, seek them out, seek the knowledge they wield, discover the past to ensure the future. With his last words, Veles changes into one of the souls once more, and together they move on. You feel you know where to seek this knowledge your god spoke of.
Sweet, where's that? Divine Quest. It seems pretty important. Where is that relative to me? See what I run into en route. No, I think those are the skeletons that triggered the event, so I don't think I need to send people back to defend Astoya, but possibly famous last words. We'll see. Can I build the last pasture now? I can. Iron. Whoops. I don't think I could have gotten there in time. Let's not have my best damage dealer in the offhand. Okay, good. He's in the main hand now. Everyone's pretty weak from a armor perspective, so we're gonna have this is gonna be not great. I have very few characters that have enter the battlefield damage. Oh, I'm so screwed. This is extremely bad. So we need to keep some defenders in the town, apparently. No one is tanky. Added the total defense. Oh, it'll have to be next turn. Rightmost allied card in the queue whose level is equal to or lower than the first action is moved to the beginning of the queue. We want to have our weaker characters defended by our tankier characters. This means I should have moved Nibor or Bokafala past Dobromila, but I screwed up the ordering. At least they're all slashing damage, and they only have the one skeleton that deals 13. But Dobromila is probably dead, though. It's 15. Another nasty skeleton. It was a shield ally type situation. Alright, we're gonna get Falibor in there. Hit for 25 against the shielded dude. Let's see how this goes. I don't think it's gonna be great. It's alright, Bogufala. There's big time overkill, unfortunately. Okay, that skeleton doesn't get to do its 13 damage again, so that's helpful. Down to the weaker skeletons remaining. Nicely done, Falibor. Broken skeleton lives on. I reshuffle with the characters that I have remaining. I have Falibor in the party, so that's what matters most here. Let's put our tankiest character out first. Here comes the broken skeleton. Go ahead and enter the battlefield, damage it. Okay, I think since we're going left to right, Nibor should kill the skeleton before it gets to do any damage to anyone else. Okay, got it. You have won. Dobromila, Bogafala, and Milodrog had a really bad time, though. I guess on the plus side, they all are still in the town, so they'll rest it off. It didn't go as badly as I was worried it was going to go. Let me get some loot. Small amount of XP. They're still working on building the pasture. Where was that divine quest? There it is.
Wounds don't always have a chance to heal, and so death can claim its prize.
Some more souls join the Beyond. Bye, Milodrog. That's unfortunate. I didn't realize they just had a chance of dying at any time, even if they're in the town. Alright, got idle villagers. I think we're at max settlement buildings. So we're just making a ton of food per week now. I think there's still some children in the town, too. They just take a while to grow up. Okay. Pendants. I got these shields that I might want to move on to characters later. Probably need to better equip them with like weapons and armor. They can all have that in addition to their gathering stuff, right? Probably make them tankier for next time. There's no like penalty to giving them stuff, right? If they have a slot for it, they may as well have equipment there. Some of them have two-handers, it looks like. Armor, shielding, folklore, backstab. There's a weight limit. As long as I have a slot for it and enough strength to carry the gear, there's no reason not to equip them. Okay. So I guess that explains, this is the first time I've really been attacked like that, so I'm wondering, like, why do they let me make crappy armor? And I'm guessing you want to make crappy armor to be better prepared for those kinds of attacks. So I will do that thing. Fur coat. It's also just a fur coat. Silk tunic. Leather shirt. Might not be easy to get out of, but it certainly looks cool. Just make a bunch of silk. Now, does the amber just kind of like sub in for... I'm trying to see, I don't think it's better, right? Actually, it looks like it's worse. Topaz. It uses quite a lot of silk, though, if I do it that way. I'm guessing the primary and the secondary determine what stats it will have, in this case armor 3. And the catalyst is just something you have to burn to be able to make it. Armor 2, armor 3. Still armor 3. Alright, well, I could make 1. Still gonna take them 2 turns regardless, but I think that's probably fine. Define quest. Next turn I should be able to do it.
You find the remains of an old town, built in solid stone, with a large central building that even in its crumbled and rotting state looks very impressive. Like many such places, you feel the cold draft of the ever-present dark mist lurking in every corner. You see a faint light coming from one of the towers in the central building, and you know this is where you must go.
Ignore all the fluff and go straight upstairs. Skip story. Investigate.
You enter the old building, and soon realize it must have been a place of great knowledge, as even in the entrance hall, there are vast shelves with remnants of books on them. Indeed, as you go in deeper, you find a rusted shield with the words, "The pen is mightier than the sword, and the sword of knowledge defeats any foe." Before you make another step, you are met by a hooded stranger. "Welcome to the Grand University of Cracovia. How may I be of assistance?" He chimes, as if nothing was awry in the world.
Grand University, I think we met one of your fellows in a tower.
Ah, yes. You must be referring to Professor Common from the Human Advances Department. He's been listed as being on a sabbatical in an old tower for almost a century now. Or perhaps you speak of his esteemed colleague, Professor Hufker? He too likes towers, although he has been reprimanded for using illegal magic, you know. You may want to go up and speak to the board if your interest lies in either professor's field.
A board meeting?
Excellent. You must be from another foreign delegation then. I've been told there might be latecomers. The board meeting is on the 3rd floor, in the Thorn Rose room. You look towards the stairway, and you see it is crumbled and full of cracks, but it should be fine to climb.
Leave the strange man and go up.
You go upstairs and find many more empty, eerie rooms, filled with rotten bookshelves and destroyed books, laboratories with smashed equipment, and lecture rooms with decaying tables and the stench of death. But as you enter one such lecture room, you see that at the center, by a large round table, sit 6 people, dressed in academic gowns.
Hello?
One of the figures at the table turns to you, and for a second you see only a skull. But then you blink, and an old man's face stares at you. "Hello there. I see you have come seeking answers, yes? How did you find us? We were cursed long ago, never to be found by a living soul, and I dare say you look alive."
Our god told us to come here.
Ah, so they are finally strong enough to try and regain their powers, and so they send you to seek answers.
What do you know of our god's power?
In short, we were the ones who took the power of the Pantheon to ensure our colleagues could burn the cosmic tree without interference.
You took power from gods? How?
It was not easy, nor done without the aid of powerful and evil magic, but it was done. Each god, you see, had their own duty, their domain, and it was both their strength and their weakness. By hitting them all at once, we also didn't give them a chance to aid each other as they normally would.
Why did you do it? Why did you burn the tree and hurt the gods?
Well, that's a funny story in itself, I suppose. We were tricked by the Human Advancement Department. We were presented with false data to suggest that the gods were about to destroy
Like the
all
maesters
life,
in
that they'd
Song of
grown
Ice and
arrogant
Fire.
and wanted to wipe Thea of humans to create a new, more obedient kind. Anyway, it was all a lie, and those who knew the real reason are no longer with us.
Pretty much destroyed Thea for a theory that turned out to be bollocks.
Yeah, In hindsight,
Yeah,
it all seems rather ridiculous, but you don't know how it is when you're in the zone. And it was a good theory in principle. I mean, there is no definite proof that the gods didn't plan our demise.
Is that how that works? You said you use the dark magic?
Our plans were cosmically big, as it were, and so we needed help. Help that a few would be willing to give, and even less capable enough to provide. A mage arrived on our doorstep, offering all the right answers. Even after we figured he was the famed Dark Lord, banished ages ago in the Great War of the Eye in the Westerlands, we still couldn't say no. It was him or nothing.
So, faced with working with an entity so evil that it almost devoured our world more than once on more than one continent, you thought it would all be fine. You said you were a professor?
Oh, don't get me wrong. We knew we were working with evil, but the pursuit of knowledge, of understanding, the very notion we could defy the gods, it was glorious. I think the Dark Lord didn't even
So it's
break
like
a
the
sweat
maesters are
defending us.
convinced by Silmarillion era Sauron. Okay. Did no one see the foolishness of your plans?
There were suspicions. Some gods even took notice, but the Dark One was clever and diverted their gaze every time, building a fake army in his old stronghold and sending out omens of his return worldwide. This was step one of our plan. This was how we would trap the supreme gods.
Hey, Jahan, how you doing? Supreme gods.
Yes, like Perun and Mokosh in the Easterlands, every land in Thea had their own. They needed to be broken first, else their power would protect the others. Mokosh we could not lure away. She is wise and careful. But Perun, well, let's just say he was keen to go into battle. Very keen.
Velis, Lord of the Underworld? How'd you trick the trickster? It's Arcad.
Ah, yes, Veles, who sat in the roots of the tree, guarding the gates to the afterlife. He would lose power from the cosmic tree's demise, but we needed him distracted more than most. But Veles is not only the master of the underworld, he is also the Lord of Magic, and some say he was of the elven kin first before he became god. We attacked the western islands, where the elves dwelt when they wished to leave the human realms. Veles ran to their aid, and so did many elven guardians.
Doing okay? It's enough just to lure him away from the tree?
Oh no, of course not. Like with many others, we had to make a trap. In this case, we invented a device that would target all creatures of elven descent. Once we had all the greatest heroes in one place, we detonated the hellish thing, and it spread like wildfire. It would not kill any of them, you know. It was supposed to overload their magic, so that for a time they would be rendered unconscious. But you see, the device had a strong side effect.
What was worse than rendering our god disabled from action?
Only that afterwards, when the tree burned,
I have to call
the
him
connection
murderous
we made
scum.
with the device, it spread a dark curse to all elven kin, killing millions. But what you need to know is that the device cannot be reversed as such, and yet there are rumors of an elven survivor who is the key to all this. Seek out the Oracle. She will guide you.
So every time you beat the game, you unlock new gods that you can have as your patron for an additional playthrough that have different passive effects.
Before I tell you, we must ask a favor. We have been cursed to stay here, neither alive nor dead, for eternity, as punishment for our actions. A sentence we accepted with grace and understanding. It is not often you get to destroy the world and nearly kill off gods. However, we wish to be freed now.
How can you be freed if it's a curse?
There is a way to try and free our souls from these unliving bodies. With the underworld shut, we will still roam Thea, but at least we will be free.
Why do you believe you should get freedom?
Yes, many of us share your enthusiasm for the punishment. We are tormented by our faults, believe me. But to be stuck like this forever. If you kill us, we will only suffer the pain of death, but eventually we will return, marked by another scar. But if you use your connection to the gods to break our curse, perhaps we can be released.
Your crimes are despicable, arrogance beyond measure, stupidity in trusting dark forces goes beyond measure, but your fate seems dire. Little point in more suffering. Give us a location. We will think about releasing you. 14 options unavailable because we don't have the right god and the right gear
The
and
old
right
man
characters,
nods,
that kind of thing.
his face twisted in a mixture of fear and sadness. I have imprinted the location you seek in your minds. You will find it whenever you seek it.
So I could do an intellect challenge, but I have to see what everyone's intellect looks like here. I think these characters are generally better at fighting. I did not bring my smart characters. One character with a 7, everyone else is a murder person. Given that this is a 3-skull challenge, it's almost guaranteed to fail, given that I only have one character that has an intellect above 2, right? If I'm understanding correctly. Primary skill for intellect challenges, using many others, help you overcome obstacles. Sickness challenges. Social challenges. Social and hex defense. I also didn't bring any, like, gear with me that could boost their intelligence. That's cool, Johan. Just filters on the right to show the stats relevant to the challenge. Oh, thank you. Thank you, that's cool. So, intelligence, magic. Ah, okay. So tactics could matter. So they all have decent tactics levels. Oh, but those give you, that's if they're in the tactical deck, it gives you the choices that they have available, basically. Is that 3 magic boost? You solve situations in unexpected ways. This might go badly, but I'll give it a try. I don't know what happens if you fail an intellect challenge. Intellect's attack. Intelligence's attack. Will is your health. Okay, so we want her in the main hand, so we definitely want a mulligan. Okay, we got her. Let's see. Thing's gonna do 10 damage. So she's also the tankiest character. Counter offense. Discards a random card from your opponent's offense card. Card's level must be equal to or less than the counter offense level. Which probably won't be. Nope, didn't work. Gave it a try though. That would have been nice. Yeah, this was a bad decision. I should have just done normal combat. I guess we'll find out what happens when I fail one of these challenges. Alright. 7 will get me 11, but that would still get me within range of dying. This will get me 11, which is still within range of dying. Basically, all of these are going to put me within range of dying. I could try to do shield ally to not be as screwed. Add shielding bonus to your rightmost card. What did I misunderstand about damage? So there's 3 more cards in the get closer menu. Yeah, this is not good. Huge mistake. Oh, they do, that's the minimum damage they can deal and then they can do more? I thought those values were just like, that's the damage they deal guaranteed. And then they sometimes have special effects like the piercing that does enter the battlefield damage. All right, let's see what happens when we lose an intellect challenge.
Meditate and find your inner peace. In this place of sorrow and darkness, you seek a link to your gods by opening up your hearts and souls. But this place has been stained with too much darkness and evil, and your connection to the gods is too weak to aid the scholars. The professors only nod in thanks and return to their table, debating a theory of why you failed. They do
That's
not
an additional
respond to
symbol
any
beneath
aim,
the
so you are
weapon
left with
icon,
no
though,
recourse
right?
but to leave the place. As you do, you feel the great disappointment of your gods weighing down upon your shoulders. But at least you know where to go and seek more knowledge next.
Only if the foe's been injured. Alright, no big penalties for failing. Would have been bigger penalties for failing the fight command. And it sounds like I could try again later, so it's not terrible. Okay, got some level ups here. I got you, that makes sense. You have an advancement point. Let's please use it on Wicker. We've got equipment now. Silk shirt. So let's put it on Falibor when we want him to be, since he's already our best damage dealer. Idle folks can make gathering tools now. Let's do Wicker plus web. Wood. Set of tools make gathering easier. Do it in 2 turns. Sure, that makes sense. Thanks for your help. Well, it shows me all the tiles in which I could find Wicker. I can also check that from the research menu. Or where do I press a button to see? Here we go. R for show hide resources. So there's one close to where I just left. And you just gather those automatically if you leave your characters on that tile at the end of the expedition turn. To set up camp together. Okay. Expedition doesn't have enough food. Okay, well, trying to get back to town to fix that now. Counter Nostoya. Guess I'll auto-resolve. Falibor took a decent injury. We came out with a short sword and a buckler. Yeah, gathering, crafting, construction. That explains my confusion. Thanks, Walter. I didn't even notice those other tabs. I've just been doing gathering this whole time, thinking that was the only one. So I could have been building watchtowers and wells. Alright. Leave that as a note for my future self. Okay, let's put these guys into the town, and we are at time for today. So, Future Marstead, you've got a couple quests that are open up here. Cosmic Tree is probably too high level. Divine Quest, you might be able to progress. You go to this town here if you get anybody cursed. Note that there are additional advancement trees other than gathering. There's crafting and construction. Check out construction. You already have 10 pastures, so you should have tons and tons of food. You can probably start dismantling them. By the time you get more points, you can start building these other things and make new stuff as a result. Also, watch the end of episode 2 if you need some general notes about how to play this game. I leave a lot of notes at the end of that one, and the Thea the Awakening.txt file in the Future Marstead file. Thanks for sharing this game. I'm still really enjoying it. It's cool.